Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the mini interview series we are doing from the data platform Women in Tech group, talking to the amazing women speakers at the SQLBits conference. This conference is happening between the dates of March 14th and 18th at Wales. If you're looking for a good data conference to attend and learn from, this would be a good place to go to. There are options to attend virtually as well as in person. And Kristyna is going to be there in person. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a blast.
So our guest for today, her name is Kristyna Hughes. We have talked to her on WIT before. She is going to be at the conference presenting on Power BI meets programmability, Tom, XMLA, and C#. And her class is going to happen on Friday, March the 17th at 5 a.m. This is on my time, like how Session I shows me. So if you're going to be there in person or if you're attending the conference virtually, you may want to check out the right timing for yourself.
11 or something, I think,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's
Maybe.
about right.
Yeah. Our sponsor for today is SQL Taylor Consulting. Joe Fleming donates $20 to Girls Who Code for every guest we talk to. And he's a good resource for your remote DBA needs. Joe, thank you for doing this. Share. All right, let's get started.
Hi, Kristyna.
Hey, long time no see.
I know. For those that don't know, Kristyna and I work together. So, we kind of chat regularly, but we'll have a special day today.
Yes, very excited.
I know. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been at 3Cloud going on a year and a half now. So I'm a senior data and analytics consultant over there. I've been presenting on the XMLA and how to use it within Power BI and your C# applications for almost a year now, which is kind of crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it's a well-loved topic. Everyone likes to think about the future of BI. And so I'm excited to be part of that and part of that discussion. So yeah, I think that's most of my background, especially like leading up to this session. I am especially excited for SQLBits because I am a huge D&D fan. So I've been playing regularly for about 3 years now. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
They might like to know that.
Yeah.
Not many people seem to even know what that is.
I at least know what it is. And I played like the original incarnation way back, way back. But I've not played recently. Although I started looking at dice yesterday on Amazon. I was like, oh, maybe I should take my own dice. Maybe.
Yeah, you should. They're pretty cheap too.
Yes. Well, you make dice too, right?
I do. Yes. I got a new epoxy mold for it. I haven't tried out yet, but I definitely think it would be cool to make my own ahead of SQLBits.
Yes.
And maybe give some out at the talk. So
there you go. I'd be more than willing to take some gifting dice.
Well, and they're so fun, like, yeah.
So what is this talk about?
Yeah, so the talk is about hacking into Power BI essentially. So Power BI has a couple of components behind the scenes. Obviously, there's a visual layer, and then there's a data model that powers the visual layer. So something you can do with Power BI Premium is actually access that back data model through a C# application with the Microsoft classes that were made for the tabular object model. So if you're really familiar with analysis,
that's Tom. Tabular object model.
Yeah, it just is a little bit of a mouthful. So I didn't want to put all of that in the title because I thought, well, nobody's even going to read it, But yeah, so it should be pretty cool. One of the things we walk through in the session is going to be all the different transformations you can do to your model and why it's useful to integrate with your existing C# applications or .NET applications. Especially things like adding columns on the fly, changing columns on the fly, adjusting hierarchies. If your end users have the ability to do those things within an application and they want to see those reflected in the report, that's where this really comes in handy.
Yeah, and so that way. Isn't one of the use cases like translations using different column headers in different languages based on like the user's region? That's one of the things I think is really cool is being able to do those dynamic column headers.
Oh, it's so handy. The only thing to keep in mind, and I always call this out to people, is it only changes the headers, right? And it only changes the headers if you don't change the headers in the desktop version. So there's a couple of caveats with that one,
but it's
if
still
you're
super cool.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I use that to rename my columns dynamically too. So like if I have a client that maybe calls a segment of the GL code division and another client calls it department, depending on which user's logged in, I can have it flip between the two without having to make two separate models just because somebody wants it called something else. So that also is helpful.
What's the target audience for this session?
The target audience is enterprise level. So think about people who have maybe a set of like 12 to 50 reports that they give to every single one of their customers or to every one of their clients or to all of their sales staff, things like that. And they want to be able to change little things in the back end without having a Power BI developer sit there and download all 50 reports from all of their clients, all of their sales staff, and make that little tweak in all of them, right? The idea is to programmatically change these things as they come up. I've even used it like, if you're a team and an analytics team, a lot of times there may be maybe 5 to 10 people. And let's say somebody in the sales staff says, hey, we actually are changing the definition of what it means to be picked up for this delivery, right? Like maybe it's a different flag now, or maybe it requires a lead time of 12 hours, something like that. I don't want to go into all my reports. I don't know about you, but I never want to go into all my reports and change one measure in every single one. So you can actually loop through it using a simple C# application. So something I'm going to walk everyone through too is I'm not a C# developer. So I made a very simple application that I can use in my own reporting. And pretty much any BI developer could do the same. So
that's awesome. Super cool. Make you feel super technical.
It does. Yeah. It makes you feel a little powerful,
Ooh, I made a C# application.
We all like to feel super technical.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you can always be like, oh, I've worked with C# classes before.
Exactly.
It's an easy segue in,
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to get there someday. I'm learning some C# from somebody I work with. My background is a SQL Server DBA background, so I'm just barely, coming up to pace with programming in today's world. I can do some PowerShell, but I'm from the old-fashioned. I was a VB programmer before I started.
Yep.
So, oh, very nice.
Came up old school.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm learning backwards.
So you still doing your woodworking on the side?
I am. Yeah, so I've made a couple of coffee signs now. So I've got a thing that hangs on my coffee mugs, made like a wood clock and then sealed it with epoxy. And
then, a table. You made a table.
Yeah.
Yes, like a huge dining room table, Mala, with like the
how
like
amazing is that?
With the blue
that is some
epoxy.
serious carpentry.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and my summer project is actually going to be, I have 60 pallets worth of wood I've broken down. So my grandpa and I are going to plane them, and then I'm going to do a wall installation on my stairwell, and then wood burn an oak tree into it. So that's kind of one of my summer.
Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait to see pictures of that.
It's going to take months, but it'll be so beautiful when it's done.
Yes, those types of things are worth it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I actually just learned how to crochet too over the New Year's break.
So is this your first trip to Wales?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
She's flying into Bristol. I didn't realize that there was a closer airport. So, but it was I looked to change. I'm like, oh, maybe I should just check. No, I'm not spending that much money. And it was like 4 stops. I'm like, oh, I don't want 4.
It is.
Yes. So
it's gonna be like 19 hours of travel, I think. But last time I went to Heathrow, I was studying abroad in Cambridge, and I had just the worst experience getting back to the airport. Like I missed a bus, and then the bullet train was late. It was just like a whole thing, to the point where like I finally got to the airport. I had stayed up all night so I didn't miss my flight. and I had like bloody knuckles from dragging my suitcases miles to get to the right spot. I was
Oh,
like, I'm not doing that again.
He throws stuff in the best of times, and now are not the best of times to travel.
yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just wasn't worth the risk.
I'm trying to make it so that I can do one carry-on and one big backpack so that I don't have to check a bag. And when I get to London, I can just go.
I kind of want to dress up though. That's my conundrum right now. It's like, you know, there's like I think there's a party at some point.
Yes,
where you
Friday night, the costume party. Yes.
Yes. And like I have a sword that I thought about bringing, but I definitely can't bring that in a carry-on. So
right.
And
although
even
I
if you
did
put
see
it in
on
the
the
suitcase,
SQLBits site, they asked you not to bring real weapons.
it's not totally real.
Okay,
but
that's
it
good.
would not fit in a carry-on. That's the problem.
no, and if it shows up on the scan, they're going to make you open it and all of that, because they're not going to know what it's made of
No.
necessarily. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just a little too long. It just won't fit in a carry-on.
So I'm doing a thief costume. So I'm going to be a thief. And have you ever played Skyrim?
Yes.
So I have a replica of the skeleton key that I got.
Do you really?
Yes, I am so excited.
That is so cool.
So yeah, and it's all pretty like little, it's like a big flamboyant costume that, you know, I need lots of space to pack, you know, it's a black cape and black boots. And so, you know, I can cover my face and yeah, super excited with my skeleton key. I can't wait.
That's gonna be so fun.
And it's much smaller than a sword.
It is. Well, and you know, maybe I won't bring the sword. I have a pipe too. So I've thought about bringing that because that would be next level, you know?
Yes, for sure.
We'll see. I don't know if I
And
can
then
legally fly with that.
A quiz night on Thursday. And what was Wednesday? There was something on Wednesday night. And then on Monday and Tuesday night, there's the meet the trainers for the all day sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday. So there's like
cool.
Come hang out at the bar with the trainers. I'm like, okay. I like that.
Guess you don't have to ask me twice, you know?
Yeah. So it just sounds like there's so many extracurricular activities. There's a run, there's yoga classes every morning. I'm like, hey, this sounds like great conference. Super excited.
After what was it? Past Summit. After that, I'm so excited for another big conference like this because it was so much fun.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks so much for talking with us. We'll see you in Wales.
All
right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Bye.